Store began 3 years ago, but less than 3 years ago, as an online store. Essentially when Flying Nun shifted its main office to Auckland and began sharing a space with Arch Hill Recordings, we decided to sort of integrate a few things. One of those things was putting our individual web stores together into one, and so that's how Flying Out began, as the web store for both those labels and a few other labels.
We started adding a lot of other titles, just music we liked, to that list online, and it kind of grew from there and got quite, actually did quite well reasonably quickly, particularly for people, say, outside Auckland, where they can't get different products.
After a couple of years, we were needing to shift office, and we noticed a lot more people coming into our office to pick the records up, or trying to pick the records up. So we thought, well, why don't we actually start a store?
From there, we basically got the space handed over to us. It wasn't in the most ideal condition. It had been the shaver shop for like over 40 years. And yeah, we spent a couple of months painting, pretty much all us, doing all the work. And it's really good because I have this really close connection to the space. I think the way that we've approached the shop is making sure that we really exist on a local level. We've really made a considered effort since we've started to make sure that we're stocking local stuff. I mean, like, we've grown out of what is a local New Zealand label, so our focus on everything that's right here has been like a really big part of that.
It's broad across a lot of different genres, but it does tend to be does tend towards sort of indie, alternative, less mainstream kind of music. So what it represents in some ways is the kind of music that we're interested in and we like and we care about, and then we just cross our fingers and hope there are some other people with a similar kind of a thing.
I think it's a good mix of weird stuff that you'll just happen upon, the kind of usuals that you expect to be in a record store, and then stuff that you kind of have to have your finger on the pulse to know about.
We don't really kind of stick to anything in particular, which I really like. There's space to kind of get in anything, really. Obviously, first and foremost, we stock Flying Nun, and outside of that, Capture Tracks, being that we're sort of partners in a sense with them, with a lot of the stuff that we distribute, which means that we get lots of stuff that wouldn't exist in New Zealand otherwise, which has been like a really, really nice positive change. To be a place where people feel comfortable hanging out, and a place where people can kind of want to just come and be, maybe have a coffee, be listening to music, have a talk about the music that's playing, all this type of thing, as opposed to just like a cold retail environment where it's just like, hi, can I help you? Okay, thanks for your purchase, bye. Yeah, it's much more than that. And I think doing things like having the shows in the basement and kind of stocking heaps of local music, it creates much more of a community, which is a really powerful and really positive thing.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I think it's always important to try and create a little bit of a scene around a place, and that's why we put on events in particular, whether it be having Mac DeMarco do the in-store that he did here, whether it was the Others Way Festival or events in the basement. We kind of do want to be involved in the local community.
Hey, BFM Breakfast joining you live from the Flying Out basement. Weird, wonderful place, wacky place full of boxes, and wow, look, Just general basement smells this morning. We have the Beths performing live. Yeah, good to go?
It's a song. Yeah, we're good to go.
Alrighty, cool. Live from Flying Out, this is the Beths.
We're really lucky that we're existing right now in a time where there's so many crazy talented musicians in this city, and we're able to support them in our own way, and they're able to support us as well.
A lot of the events we do in the basement are, donation entry. They're not really money-making exercises.
We are trying to aim to be as open and inclusive as possible for music lovers, music creators, and people just to come and enjoy.
As somebody said, it's about kind of creating just a bit of a noise and an atmosphere around what you're doing. It's like sometimes we put on live events and don't sell a single record, and that's fine, It's more just like, you've got to contribute something to the musical community around you by doing that.
I really enjoy that kind of community feeling that you get from working here. Like, you see the same people every day in the streets, and everyone is out here for each other.
I guess it's probably my favourite thing is, it's a good crew of people.
I think everyone who works here is just like real ecstatic about celebrating music and sharing music.
I think you can't just base it on just what you've made in the day, because that what you made in the day could have been just one or two people spending heaps of money, whereas if it was lots of people spending lots of different bits, that can also be actually much more rewarding.
From time to time, when things are not going as well as they'd like, I do go, well, maybe I should do something else, and then I think, well, what would I do? I don't really know. I can't think of anything else where I would be interested in enjoying it as much.
For me, it's about having fun, which sounds real hokey, but if you're not enjoying what you're doing, then you shouldn't be doing it, and you're just going to be unhappy.
I've dreamt about working in a record store since I was like 9 years old probably, and it's been like everything that I hoped it would be. I feel so lucky to have the job that I have.
I think my favourite thing about Flying Out is yet to fully happen. It's still in a process. I think that's probably what I like about it, is that I know there's so much that we can do with it.